अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड वेलकम टू कैपिटल सर्किट। मैं ऊपर खताफी। नाजरीन, पाकिस्तान के हालात रोज़ाना आपके सामने रहते हैं। पाकिस्तान और अमेरिका के रिलेशंस भी आपके सामने हैं। ये देखा गया है कि हमारे मुल्क के अंदर काफ़ी ज़्यादा जज्बात बार बार जब बात करते हैं, कभी अमेरिकनिज्म की बात होती है, एंटी अमेरिकनिज्म की बात होती है, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स को शायद नहीं समझा जाता। लेकिन ये बात ज़रूर है कि इग्नोर करने वाले ये भी नहीं देखना पसंद करते कि कुछ अच्छा भी हो रहा होगा। 65 साल में जो हमारा रिलेशनशिप बढ़ा है उसमें कहाँ कहाँ इन्वेस्टमेंट हुई, कहाँ कहाँ क्या कुछ मिला पाकिस्तान को, ये न जाने हम लोग अक्सर क्यों नज़र फरामोश कर देते हैं। ये इम्पॉर्टेंट बात है समझना, क्योंकि कहा जाता है अगर हम इस्लामी अखलाकियात के बारे में बात कर लें, अगर हम पाकिस्तानियत की बात कर लें, तो उसमें भी ये है कि अगर कोई आपका भला करने के लिए आया है तो कम से कम आप उसकी तारीफ तो ज़रूर करेंगे। हमारे मुल्क का सबसे बड़ा एक जो मसला हमें नज़र आता है वो एजुकेशन का है, क्योंकि जब एजुकेशन नहीं होगी, जब तालीम नहीं होगी, तो मुल्क के अंदर कमाई कैसे होगी, मुल्क के अंदर नए प्रोजेक्ट्स कैसे लगेंगे, मुल्क के अंदर चीज़ें कैसे बनाई जाएंगी, एक्सपोर्ट्स कैसे होंगी, ज़र मुबादला कैसे बेहतर होगा। एजुकेशन के सेक्टर में अमेरिका ने काफ़ी कुछ किया है पाकिस्तान में और काफ़ी कुछ सपोर्ट किया है। USAID की जो सपोर्ट है वो काफ़ी अरसे से चलती भी है और बहुत ज़्यादा हमें नज़र भी आती है। आज के दिन इस चीज़ के ऊपर एक नज़र डालते हैं कि USAID ने एजुकेशन में क्या किया है पाकिस्तान के लिए। और फिर मेरा ये कंसर्न या ये सवाल अपने मेहमानों से तो होगा, लेकिन आपसे भी होगा कि ये चीज़ें, ये अच्छी चीज़ें हमें नज़र क्यों नहीं आती। मेहमानों का तारुफ करा दूँ। मेरे साथ तशरीफ़ रखती हैं बाएं तरफ जो लेसर साहिबा, डायरेक्टर एजुकेशन USAID। थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस। मेरे दाएं तरफ तशरीफ रखते हैं जनाब डॉक्टर फयाज अहमद साहब, पॉलिसी एडवाइज़र फॉर USAID's टीचर्स एजुकेशन प्रोजेक्ट। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर तशरीफ लाने के लिए। और उनके साथ तशरीफ रखती हैं रूहानी नबील ज़ादे साहिबा, स्टूडेंट हैं फातिमा जिन्ना यूनिवर्सिटी की, फ्यूचर टीचर हैं और ये इस प्रोजेक्ट की एक बेनिफिशरी भी हैं। और साथ साथ माशाल्लाह क्योंकि फ्यूचर टीचर हैं तो शायद हम ये भी असेस कर सकेंगे कि इस प्रोजेक्ट का कितना अच्छा इम्पैक्ट हमारे मुल्क के अंदर हो रहा है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमें ज्वाइन करने के लिए। ये भी बताते चलूँ कि ये प्रोग्राम जो है, क्योंकि हमारे साथ एक फॉरेनर गेस्ट मौजूद हैं तो हमें अंग्रेज़ी में करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ सब टाइटल्स और या फिर वॉइस ओवर की भी हम साथ कोशिश करेंगे। जो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर कमिंग टू द प्रोग्राम। Would you like to, first of all, tell me what exactly is the scope of USAID education program in this country?
Well, thank you very much for having me. USAID and the U.S. government in general is very interested in investing in education in Pakistan because we really believe that education is the key to Pakistan's future. And so we focus in three main areas. In higher education, we focus on increasing access, particularly for talented young people from remote areas or those that are economically disadvantaged. We do that through scholarships. We also invest heavily in teacher training. The program that Rohania and Dr. Fayaz are associated with is a program that's really revolutionizing the way Pakistan trains its prospective teachers. And then finally, and looking into the future, we're very much focused on reading, on increasing literacy. As you know, the literacy rate in Pakistan is 59%, and it's on the decline. Okay. For a country that has such a rich literary tradition, such great poets, we really believe that we need to help reestablish the culture of reading. You need to learn to read in order to read to learn.
Right. When you were talking about these figures, education figures in this country, how reliable do you think they are?
Well, I think we've got several sources on the literacy statistics, so I think they're fairly reliable. I think they're fairly reliable, yes.
Right. Dr. Syed Fayaz Ahmad Saab, I come to you, sir. You'll have to. Would you like to add to what ma'am was actually telling us?
I think if you look the history of the USAID intervention in 60s and 50s, and the major investment went on the institution building,
right?
Like IR, University of Punjab, and then IR in Dhaka, at that time, East Pakistan and West Pakistan. Then Administrative Staff College. This is sponsored by the USAID.
Okay.
Public Administration Department in the University of Punjab.
Right.
It is done by the USAID. And then all the NEPA, National Institute of Public Administration.
Okay.
And so Agriculture University, 10 members in East Pakistan as well as in
West Pakistan.
Faisalabad. Yeah,
okay.
both.
Okay.
So these are the major investment institution building took place, And in case of in 70s, I think the US invested a lot on the reconstruction of educational institutions destroyed by flood at that time. In 73, there was a larger scale flood throughout Pakistan. So the major investment.
Right.
So, yeah, and then something they did on the sector analysis on education.
I actually wanted to come to sector analysis, but I first wanted to understand how much contribution has been there. Could you just tell us how much volume is there of investment? How much work is being done?
The volume in the term of the dollar.
First, in terms of dollars?
In terms of dollar, I can't because I don't have the figure at the moment,
I'll ask Joe, of course, about that.
But the basic infrastructure since 47, I think it has come through USAID, and especially in education, and civil service,
Okay.
And if you look at the second 5-year plan, if you look at second 5-year plan, and it was all done by a scholar coming from the USAID, from the Harvard, from the Massachusetts University, and then USC, and then Syracuse, so the people were coming up from those universities and helping us in preparing the plan.
Okay.
Like the first manpower projection. It was done by the USAID people at that time.
Dr. Sir, being a Pakistani, can I ask you, why is this work not that much widely acknowledged? Why is it not that much known?
That's I think it's the system, because in Pakistan,
system or people do
promotion material is not there.
Okay.
And it was more or less confined to the higher level of bureaucracy,
Okay.
And it's never filtered on to the general masses. That's true.
The information you are saying is not shared with the masses. Why would that be, sir?
Maybe the system may not be there at that time,
Okay. Rohani, I come to you. Tell me about your own experience in your education and how USAID has actually helped you in exploring your potential.
So I'm involved in this program, the Bachelor's of Education Honors Program, 4 years program. I'm done with the first year, and I'm really enjoying this degree. And the good thing about this is just not confined just like the previous teaching methods, just not like lecture. It's based upon different the teaching methodologies. It's more interactive and it's student-based. The teacher has to find out, polish the capacity. It's the duty of the teacher to polish the capacities of the student. And we as future teachers are taught how to do that. We are more involved in research. We are not confined. We don't have a syllabus that we follow. We're not given a book that we have to study. Whereas we are mostly encouraged to go research and go through the internet and find information regarding our related what we have to study.
When you say internet, do you go and just Google it, or
we are given this.
Actually dig information out?
Yeah, we have libraries, online libraries and all in our university, and that's thanks to USAID that have contributed towards that. And we are encouraged to visit the library more often, to go and search on the internet, and
Tell me another thing. This might be a bit personal, but I just wanted to understand what drives you. You're a young, bright lady, and I can understand that you can really bring about a difference. Education sector in this country isn't that much paying. It is not that much profitable, a business or a profession. Why did you choose it? You could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, because I believe money is not everything.
Okay.
And this joy that I get from teaching, like I've an experience, like when I did my FSc, I dedicated 1 year for service, and I was involved in community building activities. And the joy I got from that was beyond any material possession that I have. So that's when I decided that I want to bring change in my society, and I thought education is a really good field that I can go into and do something in that. And if I wanted to earn money, I can take any other field that I want, but I don't believe, money is not everything.
Somehow you're reconciled to the fact that perhaps when you actually start teaching, you dedicate your entire time to teaching, you're not going to get that much money.
Yeah, I'm aware of the fact. Okay. It's not that I know that...
Not only aware, you're reconciled to it.
Yes.
Okay. Joe, I come back to you. I just want to understand, how do you assess Pakistan's educational system? What kind of yardsticks do you have to understand what are the weaknesses when you go and actually fix it?
Well, I don't think we're fixing it. I think
helping someone fix it. Yeah.
I think what we want to look at is how well prepared are young people to enter the economy? Can they find jobs? Can they read? I'll go back to that. And what percentage of the school-going population drops out? Almost 50%. Okay. These are not good indicators. No. And, it's not surprising. Pakistan is not the only country struggling. But I think one of the things we find here is that less than 2% of GDP is spent on education.
True.
Lowest in Asia, lower than Bangladesh, lower than its neighbors. And so to invest in the future really is to invest in education, and that's something I think that we would support governments, including the government of Pakistan, investing much more in education. And then I think it's a vast system. It takes time to create change, and it takes an awful lot of effort. I really applaud Rohania and her cohort. I'm a former teacher. I can't think of a better profession or one that deserves more accolades. A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated World Teachers' Day. And I think that doesn't happen enough. So I think what Rohania is doing is fabulous. I hope more young people follow in her footsteps.
Yeah. When you're talking about our educational expenditure, you said that we spend less than 2% of GDP.
Yeah.
How much do you think is at least minimum that we should be spending?
I think we say that it's, I think the international average, 4% is what we hope, but that is what we hope Pakistan would spend, but really 6%, 6 to 7% is probably a better figure. But even to get to 4% would mean a huge change in the lives of children and in the future of Pakistan. It would just bring around a monumental change.
Dr. Saab, why is Pakistan not spending that much?
Because
you have been part of Pakistan's civil service
system. Also. The problem is, look at the kitty, and the major portion of the kitty goes to the defense, and then the debt payment.
That is true.
So whatever the left, it's being spent on the other sectors.
Isn't education in this time of strife also a form of defense? Shouldn't it be?
It should be, but it depends upon how our politicians, policy makers look into the education. Whether they treat it as a defense element or it's something is wastage, for them.
Are you implying that
yes,
somehow our policymakers saying that education is a wastage of time and resources?
Because, look at the 64 years, and we have not crossed 2.5% of the GDP. Is during the last regime, we have spent, the last regime started from 1.8 and it went 2.5.
Right.
And then declining started. Now, it is 1.9%. And it is allocation. It is not an expenditure. If you look at the expenditure, it may be 1.2 or 1.3.
But there might be another problem of capacity as well.
It's not
because whenever you talk to the budget makers,
yeah.
they keep on telling you, at least I heard this excuse, that whatever money we allocate, that is returned by the end of the fiscal year.
No, if you look at there are the two types of expenditures.
Okay.
Operational expenditure and the developmental expenditures. There is no return of operational allocation, operational money. We spend more than allocation, And whenever it comes to the development, we spend about 50% or 60% of that allocation,
Right.
Why? Because the release is being held up, from the planning because of what you call the ways and means issues,
Who blocks it?
It's the Planning Commission, the Ministry of Finance, everybody,
Planning Commission does that?
Yeah, Planning Commission and the Finance.
And the Finance Ministry.
And the Finance Ministry, because they have to look into the liquidity portion.
Okay.
The liquidity situation,
Okay.
But it is only in the case of the
and
social sector.
while the liquidity situation might be quite conducive for bombs and explosives, it is not for education.
Yes.
Sad.
The first,
sad. It is
the
really sad.
first cut comes to the education, also health.
Health has been actually totally neglected. Education is more or less the same thing. Rohania, since you're a student of education, are you also, do you have any hands-on experience of teaching as well?
The program that I'm involved in, and we have three semesters we're involved in practicum. We go for teaching practicum, and hopefully in this semester, in the coming few months, I'll be going into the different government schools, and we go and teach
in Islamabad?
In Rawalpindi, because my university is in Rawalpindi. So the nearby government schools, we go and we teach over there, and then we come back and reflect on what was our experience and what did we learn and what challenges did we face, and then what alternative methods that we are being taught in class, and then we go and practically teach over there. So what were the alternatives that we used? So yeah, hopefully when we come back and then we reflect on that.
Can you recall how many other students are part of the same program?
In
FGA at least, Fatima Jinnah University at least?
I don't know the correct statistics, but in my class we are like around 25 of us.
25 students.
Yeah, but I guess I have no idea. I don't know.
Any intervention, sir?
It must be around 33 or 30.
33 or
between 35 to 40.
Okay.
Students.
How many students do you plan to train? Or you think that you can impart this knowledge to?
Well, I think there are a couple of different ways we look at training. When it comes to the teacher education program, for prospective teachers at these universities, one of the things that has to happen is that infrastructure has to be expanded, and faculty have to be expanded. So we are sending about 38 people. We'll send another 30 or 40 more to the United States for PhDs, so that these universities are populated with very well qualified professors and an expanded faculty. We need to expand the infrastructure. We're building 16 schools of education on universities across the country. These are going to be state-of-the-art facilities that have the media centers, the Wi-Fi, the libraries, digital libraries, and computer centers, and so on and so forth. That's what we need to expand the number of teachers. We anticipate at least 300 to 400 students per school. Some of these schools already have very large faculties. They're just not all in bachelor's degrees of education, this more advanced 4-year degree. But in in-service training, teachers that are already out there, we anticipate over the next 5 years reaching about 94,000 teachers.
93,000, 94,000. And are you satisfied with the response of the governments, federal government and the provincial governments, their cooperation?
Well, I have to say that Pakistan's Higher Education Commission is an absolutely great partner for us. I think that the goals of the Education Commission for higher education are spot on. It's really to expand access, to create world-class institutions, to ensure that students that graduate from the universities actually have the skills that are needed by the business community, as well as working on applied research that can be commercialized. So that's where the Higher Education Commission is headed, and we fully support those goals with our investments. In terms of the provincial governments, we've got very good partners in all the provinces. So I think there's a high level of commitment for reform, and it's just a matter of time.
It is just a matter of time.
Time and sustained commitment.
Right. I am being told that we have to take a small break. ख़वातीन हज़रात, एक छोटी सी ब्रेक, उसके बाद आते हैं और बात को आगे बढ़ाएंगे जी.